Hey guys, welcome back. Next bike up here we got is a 1975 Suzuki TS125. This one I had picked up in Mid-Ohio, not this past year, but the year before. And it's been sitting in storage for a little while, and I've kind of been putting it off to get to it. This one actually runs. It's one of the few bikes that I've gotten right off the bat that runs. It doesn't run too good though, so I think I'm just going to first take off the carb, and we're going to get a look at there, make sure everything's cleaned up. It seems like it doesn't want to rev out past mid-throttle. So I'm going to take a look and see what jets we got in there, make sure nothing's set out of whack. It's making it run too rich or something. But it actually starts up pretty easily. I picked this up because it had a title with it, which you don't get to see too often out there for a bike that was priced the way it was. Now, as you can see, cosmetically, we got some rust on here to deal with. Back rim's not too bad. And we got some rust on the heat shield on here, but the front rim was the worst part about it. So I've been kind of putting it off until I could find a wheel for this. And luckily, my friends at Cautrell Vintage Cycles hooked me up with this at this past Vintage Days. Met up with them out there, and they were nice enough to hook me up with this wheel. It's going to fit perfectly. So thanks, guys. Brendan, thank you. Appreciate it again. This one was just a little bit too far gone to try to fix, I think. I mean, it's possible I'd have to cut all the spokes because these are rusted solid here, and they're really loose, and the whole wheel flexes pretty good. So when you're like riding it around, you can feel that front end just wanting to give way. And I know if I try to tighten up on the spokes, I'm going to snap something. I mean, look how loose that is. I mean, they're all pretty loose. You can hear that they're all flopping around. So that's no good. So luckily, they hooked me up with that wheel, which is going to fit this perfectly. We got rust on the fork tubes here. I'm going to try to maybe use some steel wool to get a lot of that off, but there is some pitting, so it's not going to be perfect. I should be able to knock off quite a bit of that, though. And the handlebars are pretty crusty, too. This thing has... I don't even know if that's hooked up. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the... Speedo's not even hooked up right now, so I'm sure that's not the correct mileage. It looks like the tack is just kind of hanging there too. So you really can't trust any of the numbers on here right now. The tank looks like it was being prepped for paint at one point. This looks like body fill, probably to get dent filled in. And the rest is covered in primer, so I'll end up sanding this down as smooth as possible. And then I'll finish off painting the tank as close as I can to the stock silver. And then probably finding that decal that goes on here too, which will make this look a lot nicer. Probably paint some of this stuff up, just cosmetically bring it back a little bit. Make it look a lot nicer. It is pretty much complete except for the turn signals. It doesn't have those. So I don't know if I'm gonna go that far with it. We'll see as we go along if it's easy to find those parts or not. Seat pan's in pretty decent shape. You know, it's got rust, but it's not flaking or falling apart yet. And that's pretty solid on there. It's got the battery still. Oil injection still works. And I think that's about it to show you for that. So we're going to get into this now with starting off with the carburetor, I think. Just going to yank that off, get a look and see what's going on, and figure out why it kind of breaks up at the higher revs. So without further ado, let's get started. Like I said, I'm going to get the carburetor off. I'm going to yank the tank off there while we're at it. Maybe try to start making that thing look nicer. You got wire holding the tank on here. we got two 12mm bolts here, nuts, and just the standard band on the intake boot. So that was already loose, I could see. And that was pretty loose too. All right. I'll check that needle clip position on there. Get this out of the way first. This thing did run pretty good. I was riding it around at Mid-Ohio when I got it. Just kind of testing it out up and down the main driveway that was there. It was actually pulling me around pretty good. So I remember feeling it breaking up just in the upper revs, like I was saying, like you go above half throttle, and it just started bubbling. So almost like a real rich condition. So I'm hoping it's just maybe a jet came off or something stupid, or it's just jetted completely wrong. The guy I bought it off of did mention that he really didn't get a chance to mess with it too much. He's had it for a while, or he used to have it for a while, and it was sitting in storage, and he just kind of put fresh fuel in it and got it running to get out to vintage days. So I don't think he really messed with it all that much, but you never know. We'll find out. Oop, it's already really loose. It's like rusted. And I'm hoping I don't have to get into the top end on this either. It does have good compression, so that's a plus. I might want to heat that up there just so I don't break anything. It's kind of stiff, so let me get a heat gun on that. All right, let's get this opened up and see what we got going on the inside. Okay, first thing I'm noticing is it's got the main jet that goes in on the bottom, not necessarily from the bottom up, on the bottom of the bowl here. So I'm gonna guess it probably has an O-ring at the bottom of the needle jet that picks up fuel from down here. And on my Yamaha 250B, my DT 250B, that O-ring was shot, and it wouldn't rev out clean. It would burble and bubble and break up. So I'm gonna guess, without taking it apart, that that's the case for this one. We're gonna find out. Yeah, main jet's down at the bottom on this screw, or this bolt, I should say. And we're gonna open it up, see what we got. It'd be nice if it's that easy. So I guess before I go on, it looks like the main jet here is a 90. So it's a 90 main. Have to check online and see what the stock jets are for this bike. Okay, here we go. So I don't don't even see an O-ring on here. I don't know if there's supposed to be one or not on this particular carburetor. I would guess there's supposed to be one. This all looks pretty clean though. Yeah, it looks like there's a notch there for it, but don't know for sure. I'll find out soon enough. I'm gonna look online, see what the manual says. Might as well take out the pilot and all the jets and clean them out, and we'll know we're good to go. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything in the floats. I think these are okay. Take these gloves off. Let's see if there's a number on there. Can't really see for sure. Oh yeah, there's a number. Looks like a 25 Pilot. I don't think it's gonna show up on camera, but we got a 25 Pilot and a 90 main. Float valve moves freely. Get that out of there. Be in good shape. A little springy part there works still. Okay, I want to get this, see if I can pull this out here next. Oops. Drop that. Where'd that go? There it is. Okay. There's nothing to that. We'll get all these passages cleaned out, idle air circuit, and it's pretty clean though already. So just gonna double check and see if there's an O-ring that's supposed to go on here. I would think there is. That just kind of sits down in there. Maybe not. The O-ring would have to be huge for that to be sealed up. So I don't know. Let me find out. Almost forgot. Check the, in this case it'd be the air screw. See how many turns out we are here. That's 1. 1.5. 1.5 turns out. Get that out of there too. Nothing in there, okay. So I just checked CMS online, and there is supposed to be an O-ring. It's a blown up picture of it, of course, but it does look like a pretty thick O-ring that's supposed to go on the bottom here, right around this ring. And it'll seal off that bottom port there, because what's happening is it's just sitting like this, and it's just rushing, the fuel's rushing in there, overwhelming it. So it's probably, you know, when you crack open the throttle past halfway, it's using that main jet, and it's just sucking in all kind of gas. So that's why it's running like garbage up top. So as of now, I'm going to guess that's all it needs is that O-ring. But I'm going to go through and just going to spray this out. Just make sure all the passages are clean. I mean, it did idle and everything, so those should all be open. But we're going to clean it up regardless. That one's open. Richer. Make sure that's open. Yep. Main jet off here. A little bit of crud down in here. Just gonna loosen that up. That's all good. All right, so I just gotta find that dough ring or find one that's gonna fit that. See what the availability is online here. And check the needle position here, the clip position. Turns out that little O-ring is pretty plentiful online, so I was able to order one up, and I should have it here in a couple days. So in the meantime, I got other stuff I could do on this while. We're gonna check this here first. Okay, it looks like we are in. Yep, we're in the middle position there. So we're gonna leave that alone. Worry about tweaking it once we get that O-ring in place. Leave that be. Next up, I'm going to take the air box cover off. We're going to look at that air filter. I think it's just those two screws. Got another 10 millimeter nut on there. I can already tell it looks like the filter is fairly new and oiled. So that's promising. So it does look like I'm going to take the boot off completely to get this out of here. It's not even on there that tight. Yeah, boot's in good shape still. It's all still pretty pliable. Alright, let's pull this out. Oh yeah, that's clean. It's oiled up too. We're not even going to bother with that. It looks good. Alright. This might want to be one of the easier bikes I get going here. It's going to be mainly cosmetics, I think. But I probably just jinxed myself. You know, I'll probably blow a crank seal or something in here running it, but got to get an easy one in there every once in a while. All right, getting back to the carburetor here, and my part came in, the O-ring, which it was in fact missing on the bottom of that needle jet. So it's a pretty big size O-ring. It fits right in there and sits down in this bowl, right in this spot. So that seals that off so the excess gas can't get down in there and just make it run extremely rich like it was doing. So it'd be nice if that's the only issue that I come across to get this thing to run right. So I'm going to get this back together and we'll throw it back on the bike and maybe fire it up and see how it runs. Got everything cleaned off pretty good. And all the passages blown out. And we are ready for assembly again. Make sure I got all this stuff set out, ready to go. Okay. Guess first thing I'll do is put the float valve in there. Yeah, we're going to gonna put this main, or not really the main jet, it's just the pickup for the needle jet, I guess is what that's called. Don't know the proper term. The main jet is actually sitting down on the bottom of the bolt on this bolt. So that's going to go right in here. The pilot jet snug down. Air screw, which we determined was 1.5 turns out from full lock, so we'll just put that right back to where it was. Okay, it's full lock. There's 1.5. All right, put the floats in here with the markings facing up. I've made that mistake before where I've put them actually upside down and I wasn't getting any gas in the carbon. I couldn't figure out why at first. So those are going to go up with the little brass arms that stick out inward, obviously. And that's going to do it for this part here. Let's throw this back on. Let's see. Oops. So to get that little O-ring to sit down in there, put a little bit of oil on there just so it slides into there. Just do that by hand. Make sure my surface is clean here. Okay. Okay, it fits down there nice and snug. Start working these screws on. Can't forget the main jet. Okay. All right, let's throw this back on the bike. The heat gun was a must putting this boot back on. It was just super stiff until you heat that up, and it went on really easy after that. Figured this would be a good time to drain the crankcase oil, so I'm going to do that here next. Yeah, looks like we got pretty clean oil in there. That's good. Doesn't look like we had much oil in there though. Look at that. That's all that was in there. Looks clean, but not a whole lot. I think some of that metal flake is from the previous bike that I was working on. There was a lot of clutch material in the oil filter, so I dumped it out. But that's not from this bike, just in case you're wondering. But there's not a whole lot of oil in there, regardless. So this engine calls for 550 cc's of 10W30 or 10W40. That comes out to be about 18.5 ounces, which I got right here. And we're gonna pour it in. I think next I'm gonna try to get this front wheel off, and we're gonna replace it with the good one from Cautrell Vintage Cycles. And just wanted to show you the amount of flex on this wheel. I'm just kind of wiggling the the handlebars back and forth. How much flex is in those spokes from them all being loose and non-adjustable right now because they're just rusted. But it's pretty bad. So see if I can get this jacked up. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do that because I got the exhaust running right down the middle here. So let's see if I can figure it out on my jack, see if I can get it to kind of cradle in the middle, possibly. Probably have to strap it down. Let's see what I can do. Okay, it actually fits in there pretty good. I got it wedged in between these two spots here on this jack. It's actually a like a Harley Davidson motorcycle jack, and it's got this big wide area in the middle here. Usually I have a piece of wood in the middle that will accommodate smaller bikes, but yeah, this one fits pretty nicely in there. Just got it strapped down just to keep it from teetering. So I'm gonna get this front wheel off and put the good rim in there. Get rid of this piece of junk that's on there right now. Okay, we got the wheel on the stand here, getting ready to change over to the new rim, and I will bring you in when it's done. There's the new wheel on the bike. Everything matches up just right with the hub and everything, so that's all good. Just got to get the brakes adjusted. And I think we're almost ready to go take it for its first ride here. Okay, we got her outside. I got it gassed up, and I'm gonna get it running here, warmed up, and probably try to take it up and down the road a little bit. Hopefully it will run in the upper revs cleaner than it was before. So I didn't really get a video of it running before I started working on it. Like I said, it would start up fine, idle. As soon as you get past half throttles, and it would break up real bad. So we're gonna get it running here, fired up, warmed up, go for a ride. Alright guys, we're gonna go for a little ride. Had to do a little tuning on the air screw. I had to turn it in a little bit and just had to turn in the air screw a little bit to get it to run better. So it's running pretty good right now. We're gonna take it up and down the road and maybe back on some real light trails to see how it does. I'm not really dressed for it. Kind of spur of the moment. I had to use a zip tie for the locking gas cap. That mechanism's all messed up, so it won't lock. So don't laugh when you see that. Here we go. Brakes work good. Shifts through the gears nice so far. Definitely revving out further than it was before. Clean all the way through the gears, that's nice. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm already feeling pretty confident. Let's go hit some trails. This thing's quiet too. Trail work. A lot of leaves are down. I really can't see what's under these trails. Like I was saying in my XR200 ride, I don't really ride this stuff too often. Just for little tests like this. I'm just gonna go easy. I got way too much air in that front tire. You can already tell. And I'm back here in tennis shoes right now as well, so not ideal riding gear. I might have to let some air out of that front tire. It's pretty rough. Nice. A little 125, nice and quiet back here. Good for putting through the woods. Not expected to be able to hit any big hills or anything with it. Be a nice little commuter for somebody. I'm going to plan on getting it cleaned up a little more, repaint the tank and stuff. That'll be in the next video. But yeah, I don't think I want to go down here all the way. Oh, no, I can fit over here. Cool. I'll let some air out of that front tire real quick. Running nice. Let's get a stick. It's coming loose. Let some out in the back too, I think. It's not quiet this thing is. Yeah. Let's try that. Already better, I can tell. Forgot the tank fastener in front of the seat. So it's kind of banging around there. That's the noise you're hearing. missed a beat yet. It's pretty rough terrain here. So really, I think that carburetor, all it needed was that O-ring. This thing is so quiet. Shifts perfectly. Engine's quiet. Mechanically it's quiet, you know, exhaust is quiet too, but it doesn't sound like it needs a top end or anything. This might be the easiest bike for me to get going. All I needed was that little O-ring. I think the harder work's just going to be the paint and stuff like that it's going to need, and getting rid of some of the rust. But yeah, I've dealt with worse before, and luckily the tank's not rusty, so you know, it's just going to need a little bit of paint there, I think. Obviously after I sand down some of the body putty that's on the dents, but down in the first, no problem. Oh, what was that all about? Little hiccup. Alright, she revs that clean all through the RPM range. Around here with it too. You can hear the engine is mechanically quiet. No rattles, vibrations, nothing like that. Exhaust goes pretty quiet. I think we're still burning off some excess oil that's in there from probably from this thing sitting so long. that later. But I'm going to clean all this up, degrease it all, give it a good power wash, and repaint some of this stuff like the chain guard. We'll get all this grease off of here, clean up that back rim a little bit, and then look at it compared to the front rim. Whoops. Almost got hit in the head by the handlebars there. So I'm happy. It's just cosmetics now. All right, I got it back inside the workspace here. Very happy with the way it ran. Everything's working mechanically on it. It's just a matter of doing cosmetics like the paint. So that's going to be the next video. Probably get these fenders off, get the headlight bucket out, get new paint on here, paint the tank up. We're going to clean up the rust on the heat shield here, try to get some rust off the back rim. And we'll repaint the rear fender and stuff too. Try to make it look a little prettier since it runs nice. And we'll probably try to get the lights working and probably got to get a battery because I think the one that's in here is pretty crusty, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's all completely dry. So we'll probably work on all the cosmetic stuff in the next one since it's running good. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're still with me, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. And the little bell icon to get alerted when I do put that video out on this next time. So you can see what it looks like when it's actually pretty looking again. So we'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks again for watching.